Yes, 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 he has done it again. Action Bronson has delivered once again another incredible 990 V6 colorway in collaboration with New Balance as a part of his Specializing in Life series, where he brings bold, loud, and polarizing colors to some very comfortable silhouettes from New Balance, and today is no different. My name is Harrison Cable, this is Best Foot Forward Shoes. Thank you so much for checking out this channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for watching this review. I really do appreciate it. This is a very, very exciting shoe to review, so let's get straight into it. Straight off from the box, you have this very nice blue style of box lid on the top, and then you have a very standard sort of cardboard box on the bottom. When you open it up, it does have Baklava written on the top, done in that Action Bronson style of font. You also have a little bit of a shiny kind of inside, as you can kind of see on camera there. You know, it's definitely more than what you usually get from a New Balance general release, which is pretty cool. And then the real stars of the show. Oh, yeah. Man, I can't believe it. I picked up these ones from Above the Cloud store, which is a store here in Australia that's in Sydney. It came within about 6 days, so pretty fast shipping considering there was a public holiday in between there. Let's get both of these out of the box. Also in the box, you do have a piece of paper which does have Baklava written in some nice kind of branding. There are no extra laces because, of course, Action Bronson believes that a shoe is kind of a piece of art, and he doesn't give extra laces to people because he says, if you don't like them, don't buy them. But, however, I have seen a lot of people do some extra lace swaps, and myself, I do love some lace swaps, so I might do that in the future. But here we go. I literally haven't even put these on my feet yet. I haven't laced them up. This is straight out of the box, a brand new unboxing. You have some New Balance tags. You have the Baklava New Balance co-branding on one tag, and then the left shoe just has one New Balance tag. The first thing that initially stood out to me about these shoes was how pink the upper actually is. In photos, it looked very red, which I was a little bit hesitant about because traditionally, I'm not a huge fan of red shoes, but the pink on this shoe actually, in my opinion, makes it really, really nice. There is red, however, present on the tongue and also around the heel lining done in this polyester cotton blend. This is a very initial raw look at these shoes. I will dive into the materials just a little bit later, but just overall, just looking at the way the colors kind of mesh together, looking at the quality of the materials and the craftsmanship, it obviously is a made in USA pair. As you can tell by on the back heel tab, you do have the USA flag and the made logo there from New Balance. You have another piece of co-branding on the tongue, Baklava done in that classic Action Bronson font. That's done in a nice blue color mixed with the New Balance co-branding in that gray suede on the tongue. Another really nice hit is the reflective N logo on the side here, which is also accented by another color of blue. So overall, I can count at least 6 or 7 or 8 colors on this shoe. For some people, is a crazy amount, but for me, it is just perfect. I do love my Action Bronson shoes, and this is the third 990 V6 I have from Action Bronson. I also have the very first colorway, and in some people's opinion, still the loudest colorway of all of them. And then I also have what a lot of people consider to be the best colorway, which is the Lapis Lazuli pair, which came out in 2023. So stacking these 3 pairs up, it really does create almost a kaleidoscope, which I think Action Bronson is really trying to go for. And looking at the 3 of them, I really can't pick a favorite at the moment. But hey, we're not here to talk about these 2. We are here to talk about the Amazõnia pair. So let's dive in. Let's have a look at some of the details, get a bit of a top-down view, check out the sizing and the comfort on them as well. So let's start from the bottom. You have 2 colors and 2 different tread styles on the bottom here. You have the Endurance outsole from New Balance, which is pretty standard on all of their 990 V6s, and that is done in a black finish on the rubber. And then you also have this almost icy translucent light blue color around the midfoot, which was also present on the other 2 shoes as well. However, as you can see, these ones are a little bit more faded and dirty because I've worn the shoes a lot. It's not exactly the same color as the others as well. This one's a little bit more green, and this Amazõnia one is almost more of a white icy blue. You also have the classic 990 V6 fuel cell technology, which is present around the heel. You have a double density foam around the back heel tab, providing different levels of support for your cushioning, and there's really not much difference between this level of cushioning and a regular 990 V6. It's really just the colors that Action Bronson has gone to town with on this shoe. Moving up from there, you have a wraparound suede done in this very nice, almost caramel kind of brown. It almost has like a yellowish tinge, but it's more of a caramel kind of brown to what I can see. It's a very, very nice suede. It's very thick, it's short haired, and will really provide some good protection from any sort of wind, rain, mud that might try and get up into the upper of the shoe. Moving from there, you have a almost perforated leather done in this sort of navy royal blue colorway that is present on both sides of the lateral and the medial side, and you also have that same color around the middle of the eye stays as well. So you've got some suede, you've got some leather, and then moving on to what I consider the star of the show is this pink mesh. It is a very large open hold mesh, and this covers pretty much the entire toe box. You can see it present around the midfoot where the N logo is, and also a little bit around the heel there, although around the heel it's not really providing much breathability. It's more for a looks aesthetic, but this toe box mesh is very, very nice and is also very breathable. One of the other sort of accent colors, so to speak, is this really nice lime, almost turquoise color that goes around the eye stays. It doesn't fill all of the eye stays for the laces, but it does have a lot of them. It is a very nice short head suede, pretty much the same as the suede that's around the midsole. And then looking at the tongue, which is decently sort of padded, it does have this really nice, almost dark, deep burnt orange style of color, and it also has two different styles of mesh, as you can kind of see already. And then lastly, you have a synthetic panel on the top of the tongue, which has a lace lock and also that co-branding, which we spoke about before. The last color or material that I will talk about is the reflective gray piping that you can see on the N logo and also around the heel right here. It is done in a very nice gray color, almost like a shiny gray. And of course, when you put a light towards the 3M reflective panel, it's going to shine up very nicely. And that's also very present on the other colorways that he's done. So I am seeing a fair amount of not copy and paste, but almost like a definitive trend as to what he's doing with these shoes, where he's creating different crazy kind of color schemes, but keeping some level of consistency. The back heel tab is the last place we'll go. You do have one other color there, which is almost like a taupe kind of brown mesh with a little bit of padding. And then lastly, you have the black heel tab here with the Made in USA flag done in this black colorway. Looking at the heel counter, it isn't exactly very hard. There is still some pliability to it, but again, we'll look at this a little bit closer when we put them on feet and see how they go. But overall, just looking at the materials, it is amazing. It is just filled with the premium nature that these shoes really do deserve. The last thing I will chat about is the laces, if I can fish them out of here. Okay, so there is like a nice little black and orange style to these laces. These are the typical rope laces, which always come with Action Bronson's 990 V6s. He really does prefer those rope laces, and these are very nice. Again, another color. So there's probably about 10 different colors on this shoe, which is pretty crazy, to be honest. So yeah, the only thing really left to do now is to put them on feet, see how comfortable they are, and then report back. My goodness, they feel incredible. And that's honestly no surprise when it comes to a New Balance 990 V6. I mean, it might be a bit of the halo effect, like Action Bronson being incredible, and they just look so cool as well. Like, this is an all-around A+. No ifs, buts, maybes. These are one of, if not the best New Balance shoe of the year so far. I know Action Bronson released another 990 V6 called the Untitled, a mostly white and brown pair, but man, this is just incredible. Like, the way it looks, the way it feels, the material quality, they just look absolutely awesome. I'm so excited to have these and wear them over the course of this year, and I'm sure I'm going to grow to love them even more than I already do. Even from just an initial impression, my mind is yet to be made up whether or not this is the best of his series. I obviously have had more time with the other pairs in the 990 V6 and even a couple of the 1906 pairs, but man, as an initial impression, I am blown away by how these look, how these feel. They are an absolute amazing masterpiece by Action Bronson. I guess that wraps it up. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. If this is your first time watching the channel, it really would help if you would subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews. We also do a podcast here, which is pretty cool. We have some cool guests and we chat about sneakers. So if you're interested in that, hit subscribe down below. Like the video. It does help the channel grow. Again, you don't have to, but if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy this shoe, it would really help the channel. I'm going to have so much fun taking photos of these. I'm going to have so much fun wearing these shoes, chucking them up on Instagram, which you can actually see my Instagram just down below if you want to check that one out. But man, whew, A+. I'm speechless. I don't know what else to say about them. So thank you everybody for watching. You have a good day.